This is exactly right.
And welcome
to my favorite
Minisode.
The Minisode episode
that you
are listening to in your car
or at work,
wherever, treadmill,
cemetery,
doctor's office,
mowing the lawn.
You're getting your teeth cleaned.
You're getting your feet cleaned.
You're getting your cat cleaned.
You're getting your bat cleaned. This is a lot like Sesame Street. And we also wanted you to know that this show is brought to you today by the number 9.
But stop letting your kids listen to this.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
It's insanity.
All right, this is the Minisode. We read you your fucking stories.
You know how it goes. I just want to say this. In recording our full episode, we do it all at once, I bit my fucking tongue and cheek so hard with my new tooth that my beautiful dentist just gave me.
Oh, you're not used to having a tooth there.
I'm not. I had broken a tooth. It had been broken for a long time. I was pretending it wasn't real.
Yeah.
Living in a fantasy world, trying to come out of that fantasy world.
Yeah.
Went to a dentist to get it fixed. He is the most beautiful man in America.
That's gotta be rough. You sent me some photos of yourself in the chair where it's just like
not cool.
Compounded how you look, which is hilarious because you've got like stuff on. Compounded knowing that the fucking guy on the other side of the camera is like gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It's so weird because the first thing they do, it's like, a fancy dentist office where the first thing they do is make you put on a pair of Oakley blades. Cause it's like, they're going to do some kind of thing and it's like to protect your eyes.
Sure.
Where I'm like, can I not wear these? Yeah. Or could I get a cute pair of cat eye versions?
Can I just wait till he sees my eyeliner that I did for him today?
The eyes are pretty much all I'm bringing to the table these days. Can I keep these exposed? Oh no, I can't?
No.
Okay, well then definitely have him put on glasses with microscopic lenses so he can see up close into my filth mouth. What are we talking about?
That's some people's fucking fetish.
Sure, I sent Georgia the hilarious picture of all the shit in my mouth as I was like laying in the chair.
It looked like your mouth was about to have a C-section.
Yes, because they put in a huge dam so that none of the stuff that they're because they keep pulling all the silver out of my teeth and replacing it. So they want to make sure you don't swallow it.
Sure.
It's ugly times in a Beverly Hills setting. It's not good. So anyway, with my new tooth, just bit as my tongue. Now I have a weird speech impediment. And with that, I'm going to go into our first Minisode of this episode.
Okay.
And I'm reading this first, Stephen. There's so many choices, Stephen, but this one I picked because it says, Found Diary leads to graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
Hi all. I love the podcast. I'm always impressed that you're able to make us cry, laugh, and cry in the same episode. I heard on the last Minisode a call for interesting found object stories, so here goes. A few years ago, I found a set of diaries from 1921 to 1957.
Stop it.
What?
Dream.
Written by a farmer from a tiny town in Kansas who wrote a sentence or two every day about the weather and what work he did or bits of info about his family and community.
It's beautiful.
It's so good.
It's the purest thing I've ever heard.
It's the best. I started researching his family, and as I read them, I started researching his family as I read them, and eventually put together a rough family tree through census records and local newspapers and directories.
Oh my God.
It was such an interesting look into what it was like during the oil boom of the 1920s when everyone thought they were going to be rich, to the Great Depression of the 1930s when everyone
go on.
turned out to be poor. What were you saying?
Don't you, when you go back in time and you want to yell at them to no, it's gonna be bad.
Get out of the Dust Bowl.
Right.
Move to California now and plant some orange trees.
Yes.
Okay. In one entry in 1928, our farmer describes how a family down the road, friends and neighbors of his, was killed the night before when their farmhouse mysteriously burned down with the entire family inside, except for the 17-year-old son who had taken the family car to the movies and didn't get home until the fire was mostly out. The murder was never solved, partly because the cops assumed the son had done it and spent all of their attention and resources creating that narrative and getting him to confess, which he eventually did after hours of nonstop questioning, but later recanted. Yeah. Is that the right word? Whatever. It's written. They never considered any other suspect or scenario, even though the son was eventually acquitted. I became so interested in the farmer's small town life that I drove to Kansas from my grandmother's house in Iowa to see the church that his father had helped build in 1899.
Oh my God.
And the nearby graveyard where the farmer's family and the murdered family were buried. I arrived at dusk just as the sun was going down and there was no one around for what seemed like miles. So I let myself into the graveyard gate. It was surreal just slowly walking around and reading the names on the gravestones, like these people who had been fiction were suddenly there in real life. I recognized the names of the families and the neighbors all around, including the headstone for the murdered family. I had brought them some flowers, which I placed, and then thanked the farmer for keeping his diaries. And then I started to get spooked the fuck out and kind of jogged back to my car. I still have the diaries, and although the farmer turned out to be a real asshole in the 50s, I'm glad I saved them. Keep up the good work, and SSDGM Jessica.
Jessica, be my best friend.
That was such a good twisteroo.
Man.
Jessica's at home right now going, oh, you already are my best friend.
Who would have fucking thunk, like, when he was, like, what an incredible... I love people who fucking think like that.
Yeah, it's
great. She went there and did that and brought them flowers. And,
yeah.
I mean...
I feel like that movie starts...
Yeah.
In the last diary before the 50s diary starts.
Yeah.
What happened, where he turned, what life event.
And at the same time, then we switch back to modern day, the movie goes back and forth. She's leaving the graveyard. It starts fucking pouring rain. She has to hide out in a fucking barnyard. Turns out it's the fucking, one of their barnyards. It's haunted.
It's one of the many barnyards.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh, it's a haunted barnyard. So there's ghost chickens.
Yes.
And there's ghost geese.
Ghost geese.
Ghost geese just hissing at you, trying to bite you.
And what we learn at the end of the fucking day is that time is a flat circle.
Time is the flattest of circles.
I mean, I got called flat chested in elementary school. But this is flatter than that.
You're supposed to be flat chested.
I know. That's what I always said. But apparently fucking these wasp girls were not.
That's disgusting.
I'm doing great.
You are. You're fine now. Look at you.
All right. This is called, That Time I Gave My Best Friend Bad Advice, but she SSDGM'd anyways.
Okay.
Hi, Karen in Georgia. A few years ago, my best friend moved into a cute little apartment building and immediately made friends with all of her neighbors. Oh, she's one of those.
Yeah. Congratulations. You're not weird.
Most of her neighbors with a U, by the way, so she's probably... we're really cool.
You are weird.
We're really cool. That was so condescending. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just wanted to acknowledge it, But she did get creepy vibes from one of them. He also happened to be the caretaker. So anytime there was a problem, he was the one she had to call to fix it.
Green jumpsuit. I'm seeing it.
Yeah. Nope. Nothing's wrong.
No, everything. It's that sink just fell off the wall for other reasons.
I love flooding.
It's how I want it.
At one point, he had to do a bunch of repairs on the building and asked her if she would like to be his assistant.
No, thank you, sir.
That's what she should have said.
But
she was a bit hesitant at first because her gut was telling her not to, but she really needed the extra cash. So she ended up agreeing to it.
Wait, I'm sorry. How old was this person?
I don't know, but she's living alone. So
okay, she's an adult. It's not kid stuff. Okay.
When when he asked her to meet him in the middle of an alley, despite the fact that they both lived in the same building.
Honey.
Poor Steven. Leave that part in. Okay.
No, that's when you go, oh my God, you know what's crazy is we're going to go to Hawaii and I'm not going to be here anymore.
Right now. Goodbye. Yep. The night before the scheduled workday, she called me to ask if I thought she should still go. Well, I didn't think she should have agreed to working with him in the first place. I felt that she needed to do the polite thing and honor her commitments. Honor with a U. This is straight out of the UK.
What is this? Is this from some kind of a nun's convent? Don't honor your goddamn commitments. You don't owe anybody anything.
Especially not with a U. Honor with a U. They're in the UK.
That's right.
I convinced her that she still needed to work with him the next day. I love that this chick's like admitting.
Yeah, she's being very candid, and I respect it.
The next morning, she called me again. This time, she was hiding under her covers in her bedroom while the creepy caretaker was banging on her door and peering into her windows. She listened to her instincts instead of me and decided that nothing good would have come from meeting him in that alley. A couple days later, he was arrested for kidnapping a young woman from a grocery store and sexually assaulting her.
Holy shit.
When the police went to investigate his apartment, they found his ex-girlfriend who had been assaulted and tied up.
Shit.
The guy's rap sheet was a mile long. He'd previously done time for kidnapping, rape, and even escaped prison at one point.
Oh my God.
I am so thankful that my friend was able to listen to her gut instead of me. She fucked politeness, stayed sexy, and didn't get murdered. Love the show, you guys. Thanks, Mac. With America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, you'll get easy, seasonal recipes and pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door. All you have to do is cook and enjoy. HelloFresh makes cooking delicious meals at home a reality. From step-by-step recipes to pre-measured ingredients, you'll have everything you need to get a wow-worthy dinner on the table in about 30 minutes. Say goodbye to endless grocery store trips and takeout. HelloFresh has you covered. There's something for everyone, from family recipes to calorie smart and vegetarian, and fun menu series like Hall of Fame and craft burgers. HelloFresh has more 5-star recipes than any other meal kit, so you'll know you're getting something incredible. HelloFresh is flexible and it fits your lifestyle. Easily change your delivery days, food preferences, and skip a week whenever you need. Break out of your dinner rut and make deliciousness part of every week with HelloFresh. I love that even though HelloFresh is super easy and they make it really basic and like straightforward, you still feel like you're cooking this like incredible home cooked dinner. And that makes me feel good about myself. And that instead of just ordering takeout, I'm actually making something and preparing something at home. And that just, it feels good. So for $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/murder80 and enter murder80. It's like receiving 8 meals for free only at HelloFresh.com/murder80, promo code murder80. Go buy.
The subject line of this email is, the time my mom had a chat with the Unabomber.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Read this to me.
Hello, Karen, Georgia, Stephen, and company. I love it. First and foremost, thank you for sharing your true crime obsession with the world as someone who requested the first season of CSI on DVD for Christmas at the age of 10.
Oh my God, I love you so much.
I have a long-standing interest in all things crime and murder related, but no idea that I had so many fellow murderinos out there to share this passion until recently. Props to you. Hey, thanks.
You too.
Props right back to you. From the deepest of 1991. My hometown murder story is the tale of my mother's brush with fame. None other than the mathematician turned wilderness expert and notorious serial killer, Ted Kaczynski, aka the Unabomber. I've lived in Texas for most of my life, but when I was 4, my parents decided that Montana would be a nice place to raise a child for a couple of years. Little did they know this brief relocation would provide the opportunity for my mom to meet a serial killer. My mother had been working as a federal probation and pretrial services officer in Helena for almost 2 years when on April 3rd, 1996, the local FBI called my mom's office to give them a heads up. They had just arrested the man they believed was the Unabomber. My mom spoke with the federal public defender, Michael Donahue. Oh, I love Michael Donahue.
Donahue is my favorite show.
He's just set up a time. I used to watch Donahue after school every day. I did too. I mean, I saw shit I should have not seen when I was 10.
Absolutely not.
Like, I've told you this already, right? I saw they had like white supremacists on, or skinheads.
Oh yeah.
And they were going off and being like, I was just sitting there like crying in my parents' living room going like, well, I didn't understand this existed.
Why don't we talk anymore about these fucking shows that like Jenny Jones, fucking, who else is there? Maury Povich, Jerry Springer,
yeah.
Like the shit.
Geraldo was trash.
Ricky Lake
filled.
was gorgeous.
Ricky Lake, they had style and
Ricky
they had
Lake
class.
Was kitschy.
Yes, they knew who they were.
Yeah, and my favorite line of ever that I fucking say all the time is when it was like, I'm big in bold and I know him, all that.
Yeah.
And like all these women came out, and then this fucking amazing black gay guy stands up and goes, someone lied to you. To the chick on stage. And it's my favorite. Someone lied to you.
Well, my favorite line was on a Donahue, where after this horrible white supremacist bitter rant, they just look like little like devil characters.
Like
they were
look
so
like
awful,
like insects from a fucking sci-fi movie.
Yes, they're just filled with hate, and it was pouring out of, and this woman stands up to say something, and this guy interrupts her and keeps on talking, and she goes, hold on, you need to be quiet. You're in New York City now. And the entire audience was like, yeah. It was the best.
Oh, we got to bring that shit back.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Time and place.
We don't have to do it. We have other stuff to do. Okay. Here we go back to where I was in the paragraph, which
Donahue.
is right.
Donahue.
As a pretrial service officer, her job was to prepare a report. Is that where I was? No, Donahue. Thank you. You said it twice and I didn't listen to you.
Please trust me for once in your life.
Just listen to me. Mom spoke with a federal public defender, Michael Hot Pants Donahue, to set up a time to meet with Kaczynski.
Got it.
She went in early the next morning and slipped past news vans and reporters into the county jail, where she found the FPD waiting with Kaczynski in his jail cell. As a pretrial service officer, her job was to prepare a report for the judge to aid them in making bail decisions. Basically, she had to assess the risk of Kaczynski being out on bond.
Don't do it.
And make a recommendation to the judge. I asked my mother what her recommendation was, and since she has unflinching integrity and pride in her work, her response was, recommendation is confidential.
What?
To her own child. To her own child.
No, Mom.
That's rad.
It's like, come on.
But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that bail recommendation for the subject of the FBI's most expensive investigation at the time was probably a hard nope. My mom sat right next to him on his jail cell cot, conducted the pretrial interview, the contents of which she will not share with me after 20 years. I love this woman. She's by the book.
Yeah.
She did share that the tweed jacket Ted Kaczynski wore at his court appearances was donated to the Marshal Service by her deputy chief, and that the strangest part of the entire ordeal to her was all of the media attention the case received, not her interaction with Kaczynski. Also, my parents took me to a park in Lincoln, Montana, close to where Kaczynski was captured shortly before his arrest, obviously not aware that a mass murderer was in our midst.
Sure.
I asked her if she had been scared to speak with a serial killer. She told me no, it was the opposite. She told her boss she wanted the interview and that he better not give it to the other officer she worked with. Guess I know where I get my murdering tendencies from. That's awesome. Thank you all for what you do. And of course, remember to stay sexy and don't get murdered. Much love, Mal.
Mal and Mac.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's good.
I know. That's awesome.
Ted Kaczynski. We don't talk about him enough.
It's so weird when he is truly a serial killer, but being a bomber, he was so far away.
Yeah.
It's like a different brand of evil. It's a different flavor.
It's a different category.
Yeah. I don't think I would have been scared, because that's like a person that is coming up with these terrible ideas and then executing them totally detached.
He's not, especially as a woman, he's not sexually assaulting women. He's
That's right.
not going after women. And also her sitting next to him, you say she's sitting next to a serial killer, but it doesn't feel the same way.
It's not the classic definition. Right.
But he's still a murderer.
Yep. Very intentionally.
We'll do him someday. Okay. Here's the other one. This is called A Head in a Jar.
Great.
Hello there, Karen.
If this is a retelling of Silence of the Lambs, I'm going to be so mad.
It is. Ready? Mm-hmm. Hello there, Karen and Georgia. I'm a newbie to your podcast, so Stephen, she doesn't know about you yet. Or the animals, don't worry. You come in episode 8, 10?
I think 17.
Okay.
Oh.
Get that tattooed. You've got that tattooed. 17. What did we do for 17 episodes?
We were just staring at a space on the carpet. Hey, so take that out, carpet.
And then the carpet grew Steven. Oh my God, that's his
mustache
origin.
First. That's his origin story. Nice.
Holy shit. Someone make a fucking cartoon of that. Okay. I'm a newbie to your podcast. It's actually the first and only podcast I've ever listened to.
There's other great ones out there.
No, there isn't. I'm the only podcast. A friend recommended it to me and I'm hooked. Hooked like hiding in the bathroom listening while my children play and sitting in my car until the last minute before I have to go into work.
Yes.
What has happened to me? Anyhow, I'd like to share a story with you. I'm from Santa Rosa.
That's near Petaluma.
Yeah. My family has been here for a long time, 8 generations. You may have heard of the famous Joaquin Murrieta. Isn't Marietta a county?
I don't know.
Marietta County?
Maricopa County?
No, Murrieta. Joaquin Murrieta. He was a Mexican bandit or Robin Hood, depending on who you talk to.
Oh.
He was all around California in the mid-1800s doing whatever it is he did, stealing from the rich, giving to the poor, ? I said question mark. It was actually just a question mark.
It was just a question mark, yeah.
Rumor has it that there was a warrant out on dear old Joaquin, dead or alive. When I was a young girl, around 10 or so, my mother took me to our neighbor's workplace. She took me there to see the head in the jar, as any good mother would, apparently of Joaquin's head.
Oh.
These neighbors are an ... eclectic bunch, and keeping a head in a jar at his office didn't seem too out of the ordinary for old Bill.
What did Bill do for a living?
He had a, quote, workplace.
He's a teacher.
What does that mean?
Kindergarten teacher.
He's a murderer. Their family has been in the area for many generations as well, and the story was that his great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather caught Murrieta, beheaded him, and preserved the head in a large jar. When we got there, the head was gone.
Oh.
He told us that they had to take the head to the family property and bury it as the police had been sniffing around.
What?
The thing is, my mother saw that head when she was 20, so we knew it existed. She saw the jar, the head. She saw it and obviously never forgot it. She described it to me in great detail, so much so that I almost remember seeing it. And then my printer stopped fucking working because my printer is a fucking piece of shit and I hate it so much. Can someone recommend a printer that doesn't fucking suck? Shit, I didn't know. Okay. Do you have one more? Let's end on that?
No. There's other ones.
That sounds about right. God damn it.
So now we just don't know. What if it wasn't Joaquin Murrieta's head? It was like some neighbors.
I don't know.
We got to get the B side of that story.
Shit, man.
No, I love it. This is a cliffhanger. This is a classic cliffhanger.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You want to know? Well, then you have to tune into the next Minisode.
Where we forget that we even talked about this.
Where we never talk about it again. Oh, how's the book club going? Well, we've all got great intentions.
Canapes. Canapes everywhere.
Okay. Oh, I like this one. This is a short and an interesting-er.
Great.
The haunting of my dad's van.
Yes.
Hey, y'all. Longtime listener and Murderino. Super excited to see you guys in London in May.
Ooh.
Someone from London. So my dad is a builder, so London, and seems to enjoy a crappy van, meaning he has to replace them on the regular. A few years ago, he bought a van off of a guy who he'd found in the paper, and he's a complete stranger to my dad and has no connection or ties to our family. Once my dad had paid him and driven home, he performed the usual ritual of looking for loose change down the sides of the seat.
Dad, you're embarrassing us.
Dad, are you me when I was 8? When I discovered that you could dig around in the car and find loose stuff. It was like a whole world was open to me.
I have a really big problem with unfamiliar crumbs.
Okay.
I really, really don't like them.
Yep.
I don't want anyone else to fucking touch them in front of me. I don't want to touch them myself. I just don't. Impersonal crumbs.
I get it. Like, you don't know how they got there. You didn't enjoy the cookie that made those crumbs.
Right.
I get it. Whereas I love to dig my fingernails into unfamiliar crumbs.
And you get them under your nail. I don't
gross.
like it. I don't like it.
But you could get 25 cents.
No,
or an old
never.
bobby pin.
You never got 25 cents. I guarantee it.
What about one single dice? Or a die? Okay. So the dad's looking for the loose change in the seats.
Okay.
His hand hits a piece of paper and he pulls it out to have a look.
Oh my God.
It's an old newspaper clipping that has been very carefully cut out and folded. And as he unfolds it, he realized it's his grandmother's obituary from 1981.
Stop your fucking face.
... What the actual fuck? Needless to say.
Oh my God. No, I need a minute.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Insane.
Yeah.
What are the odds? Needless to say, he didn't keep the van for long, but that's probably due to the engine falling out or the exhaust exploding. The exhaust exploding. I don't know if it's...
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
In England.
Does it work? Yeah. Over there.
Right.
The whole back ends of cars explode. When my parents first told me that I thought they were winding me up, British.
Winding me up.
But their faces were deadly serious, and they have the newspaper clipping. They have it.
Parents are liars, though.
But they have the newspaper clipping.
Yeah, but they cut it out themselves when she died.
There's crumbs, provable crumbs from 1981 on that clipping.
Okay.
They said it freaked them out at the time. It really freaked them out at the time. Neither of them believe in supernatural stuff, but they both admitted that this made them wobble. I hate not knowing answers to mysteries, and this one is a killer. Again, can't wait to see in May SSDGM, Georgia from London.
Oh my God.
Hi, Georgia.
Hi, I didn't know we had those there. That's bananas.
I mean,
why didn't he do any? If he were a murderino, he would have done some fucking digging, like the girl from the first story, and found the fucking guy who had owned it originally and how he knew his grandma.
But I mean, God, that's weird.
It's so weird.
Because what if the guy's like, oh, I don't know, it's whoever had the van before me.
Yeah, then go track that guy down.
Go get on your bike.
It's never going to be the first one. It's going to be like 3 down the road, and then you're going to be like a detective.
That's right. You got to dig in. You got to be in it for the long haul. If you're going to get excited about a clipping, then you got to follow that clipping on its long path.
Yeah. How badly do you want a fucking mystery to dig into?
Also,
that's kind of easy though. Like not a hard one.
No, but like just something that you'd microfiche it up.
Yeah, well, that's
you don't want to go to the library?
I don't want to microfiche it.
You don't want to go to a basement anywhere?
I don't mind going to a basement, but microfiche sounds like 14 hours of fucking fishing.
I don't want to talk anymore because my tongue hurts
All right,
so bad.
Thank you guys for listening. Send your shit to myfavoriteMurder@gmail.com.
And stay sexy.
And don't get murdered.
Bye.
Bye. Elvis, you want a cookie?
There it is.
Oh, bye.